There's a special kind of quiet before history changes. Before the crack of muskets, before the thunder of cannons, there were soldiers standing in neat lines, uniforms crisp, faces young and nervous. The War of 1812 hadn't started yet, but you could feel it coming. Today, we're looking back at 10 ways America prepared for the War of 1812, the drills, the gear, and the moments of hope that filled the air before the first shot was fired. 1. The call to arms. Imagine small towns where word spreads fast. The nation is heading for war. Farmers, shopkeepers, and school teachers set aside their work and sign up to fight. Muster fields filled with men who barely knew how to march, but who were ready to learn. You can almost hear the mix of pride and worry in the air as families watch their sons line up in rows for the first time. 2. Dressing for duty. Those early uniforms were a point of pride. Navy blue coats with bright brass buttons for the regular army, while state militias sometimes wore whatever they could stitch together. Some wore tall boots, others just scuffed shoes from home. But no matter how worn or fancy, when they stood together, they looked like a single, determined force. 3. Drills on open fields. Every day began with drill, marching in step, turning in formation, learning to fire in unison. Officers called out commands while drums kept the rhythm. It wasn't just practice, it was about becoming one machine, moving as one. Watching it now, it feels like a quiet kind of bravery, ordinary men learning the ways of war under an open sky. 4. Muskets in order. There's something haunting about seeing rows of muskets lined up, gleaming in the sunlight. They weren't perfect, slow to load, hard to aim, but they were what stood between survival and defeat. Many had been passed down from earlier wars, carried by fathers and grandfathers. Each one carried not just powder, but a family's story. 5. Cannons waiting in silence. If muskets felt personal, cannons felt powerful. Heavy, iron giants rolled into position, waiting for the day they'd roar. Teams of men and horses strained to move them into place, knowing how important they'd be when the first battle came. Standing beside one, you'd feel both proud and uneasy. It was a promise of what was to come. 6. Life in camp. Between drills and work, soldiers settled into life in camp. Canvas tents stood in neat rows, smoke from cooking fires curled into the sky, and laughter mingled with nervous talk of home. Men wrote letters by candlelight, patched their gear, and wondered how long they'd be gone. Those camps were half home, half reminder of the journey ahead. 7. Powder and shot. Behind every camp was the work of preparation, casting lead balls, packing powder, and making sure weapons would fire when needed. It was dirty, dangerous work. One mistake and a spark could mean disaster. But without it, an army was just a line of men holding empty guns. 8. Music of the march. War had its own music long before battle began. Fife and drum players set the rhythm for marching, drilling, and even morning wake-ups. Their tunes carried over hills and rivers, steady and hopeful. It was a reminder that order and spirit were just as important as weapons. 9. Raising the flag. Each camp had a moment that stirred every heart, the raising of the flag. Still young as a symbol, the stars and stripes stood for something larger than the soldiers themselves. Men would glance at it as they passed, knowing they were fighting for more than ground, they were defending an idea. 10. The final roll call. Finally, there was the last roll call before heading out. Names were shouted, rifles checked, and lines tightened one more time. Some men smiled, others stayed quiet, staring at the road ahead. When the order came to march, the time for drills and practice was over. History was waiting, and they stepped toward it. Looking back, it all feels like the calm before a summer storm, full of courage, uncertainty, and hope. These were the moments that came before the battles we remember, before the smoke and noise. If you enjoyed this look back, give this video a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, keep remembering where we've been.